Hi guys, welcome back to a page in the chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige. I like to read a lot of books and then talk about them here on this channel with you guys with varying degrees of success. Today I'm going to be giving you my spring recommendations. We have officially been in spring for quite a while now, but I feel like we're getting into that time period where it really feels like spring. Life is just getting a tiny bit better, and I wanted to give you some books that can give you that vibe you're looking for, whether you want to get in the mood for spring or you're already in the mood and you fancy reading something on the same level as you. So this is a list of books that are evocative of spring, either because they are very much about spring or because I read them in spring and I just kind of associate them with spring now, and I hope that that will translate. This is what I mean by varying degrees of success. Sometimes I just chat absolute rubbish on this channel. If you guys like what you've seen so far and you want to stick around and see more, do please hit that big red subscribe button down below. It would really mean a lot, and I just really love chatting to you guys about books. It's why I'm here. I want to get people really excited and fangirly about books. If you guys remember that period of time when everyone was reading Twilight and the Hunger Games, and just like the whole world was getting excited and fangirly about books and book boyfriends, I want to revive that here on this channel so people have a place to go to fangirl, and that's what I want. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around. Since I have rambled enough, we can get into the spring reads and just get excited for the spring vibes. So the first book is a fairly obvious one, and it is my current read at the moment. This is like a children's classic, and I have the cloth-bound edition, obviously, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't have the cloth-bound edition, and it's so pretty and sparkly. This follows Mary Lennox, and she was born and lives in India to English parents, but then when a cholera epidemic kills her parents, she is taken in by her uncle in Yorkshire, England. This uncle is very nice to her and will kind of let her do what she wants, but doesn't really want anything to do with her, doesn't interact with her at all whatsoever. And through the course of the book, we learn that at some point his wife died, and so he locked away this garden that reminded him of her, and Mary Lennox is intent on finding this secret garden and kind of bringing it back to life. And the entirety of this book, and Mary's friendships, and Mary getting healthy and coming to terms with the fact that she now lives in a very, very different environment than she's used to, is all centered around this secret garden and her trying to bring it back to life, and it screams spring. I feel like the entirety of this book takes place in spring, and you've just got her like planting flowers and discovering flowers and being in this garden, and it's all just very sweet and cute. From what I've read so far, it doesn't have much of a plot line, but I read this on a picnic in the sun the other day and it really did hit the spot vibe-wise. The next book on this list is Fangirl by Rowell. This one falls into the category of a book that I read in spring, so now it gives me spring vibes. I just feel like this book is very happy in a spring. So this follows our main character Kath, and she has a twin called Ren, and when they go to college together, Ren decides that she wants to distance. She doesn't want to really hang out with Kath anymore. She wants to build her own life, and Kath is really having trouble dealing with this because her and Ren were glued to each other's sides prior to coming to college. And so Kath kind of finds comfort in this fan fiction she has always been writing, and she just wants to finish it and delve into this world that she loves and is comfortable with. And it's very much about Kath learning to deal with this new university environment, break out on her own, grow up a little bit and make friends, and it's just a really sweet, heartwarming story. This is the only Rainbow Rowell I've ever read, and probably will stay that way because I've heard some things about Rainbow Rowell nowadays. But despite what I've heard about Rainbow Rowell, I could never part with this book or not recommend it. It is so, so sweet, and I'm due to reread this soon. And I think the fact that this takes place on a university campus is kind of what screams spring to me. Even though this book takes place throughout an entire year, there's just something about the coziness of this book and the new beginnings that really make me scream spring. Plus, like, the cover is very spring vibes. I don't know, I just really associate this book with spring, and I'm looking forward to reading it right at the end of my university experience. I'm gonna dive in to the university world one more time before I'm no longer actually a part of it. Sad times. And next on this list, we have an odd choice for me. and so this choice is Cersei by Madeline Miller. If you guys have seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm not a Madeline Miller lover. I didn't really enjoy Cersei all that much. I definitely didn't enjoy A Song of Achilles, and I think that as an author she's massively overrated on this platform. However, everyone else seems to love her, and if you're looking for a spring read, then Cersei is kind of it. So Cersei is a figure in Greek mythology. I can't quite remember who she is the daughter of right now, but she essentially is banished to this island where she has to completely live in solitude and she can never leave it. And so it's very much about her, you know, discovering this new island and its beautiful weather and planting things and learning to live off the land and building her own home. And she gets visitors from very key figures in Greek mythology. I believe that Cersei in general is kind of involved in a lot of very big tales from Greek mythology, so we get to meet a load of other characters. My biggest complaint with this book is it was very much a character study, not really a book. Like, there was no plot line, it's just different things happening to Cersei and none of them really lead anywhere or are threaded together. However, I am wondering if now that I know it's a character study, would I enjoy it some more? I don't know. I might be tempted to give Cersei another try this summer. Although it wasn't my favourite, I do think for vibes, Cersei is immaculate, and since everyone else seems to love it, I would give it a try, but just don't expect a plotline. Oh, this is such a fun one. Okay, so this is The Houseplant, a short story. I heard about this through my friend Magda, and it's such an adorable story. Okay, so this is about a houseplant named George, and he's not very happy that he's been purchased by his owner, and he keeps seeing all the plants outside, and he's very upset that he's inside. And this short story is about George the houseplant learning to love and trust his owner and be content with the fact that he's a houseplant. How sweet! What a weird concept, and just really sweet and adorable, and I think this is perfect for spring. I mean, I have a lot of houseplants, like a lot of them, and I hope that they love and trust me now, you know? So I highly recommend this one. I think it would be a really quick, just sweet read for spring. Why not? What have you got to lose? The next book on this list is another favourite classic of mine, and that is Daisy Miller by Henry James. I really like Henry James as an author. Apparently I just like American classics, which as someone who's English, kind of difficult for me to admit, but Daisy Miller is very much Henry James exploring themes of innocence versus experience. We follow Daisy Miller, who is an American travelling through Switzerland, and she's in this little small town of Switzerland, and she's completely taken in by this Italian who has like lost all his money. She learns her lesson, basically. When you read it, you will see the very clear themes of controlling women and telling women exactly what their place in society should be. That comes through very clearly. I kind of enjoyed the fact that that came through clearly. Like, I was enjoying reading it and like mentally annotating the book, so I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. Again, I think this is like a 50-page short story. It is not long at all. I feel like spring is the time for fast reads, so thank me later. And finally we have Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote. I am a big fan of Breakfast at Tiffany's. I don't know if you might be able to see, it's out of frame, but I have a Breakfast at Tiffany's poster on my wall. I just love this story. So this is the story of Holly Golightly, and she is like from a very small town in America, but she's moved to New York, and she essentially makes her money by partying and flirting with rich men who give her presents and jewelry and money. And Truman Capote describes her as not a prostitute, but an American geisha. I love everything about it. I believe Truman Capote said that Holly Golightly was his favourite character that he'd ever written, and she is just a very fun character to read. And don't think that because you've seen the movie, you can skip the book, because the movie is very Hollywood, but this is very much about Holly finding her feet and just dreaming about the future, and I feel like that is spring. Also, Tiffany blue is a colour of spring for me. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. No, but Tiffany blue just screams spring to me, and I have been meaning to get my copy of this book for ages, and I haven't yet, but I'm so excited to reread this, and Honestly, I just want to binge watch old Audrey Hepburn movies, but they're not on anything and that makes me sad. And so there are my reading recommendations for spring. I hope you guys found something in this video that you would enjoy reading or be interested in picking up for spring. Or if you're delayed watching this, you can pick them up for summer. I think they would work as a transitional too. I know that I am really, really excited for spring. It is needed this year, and so I hope that you guys have found something here that will get you into that mood as well. These are some of my personal favourites. Let me know down below if you guys have any recommendations for spring, and then that way we can keep the recommendations list going down in the comments, and that would just be a nice thing to do. I think we can make this list extra long. Thank you guys very much for watching, especially if you made it this far. If you did, why not hit that big red subscribe button down below? You've already listened to me prattle on for this long, so why not? Thank you again for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you for my next video. Bye guys.